In the UK every week, 84 men take their own lives. That's a horrifying statistic, but it's not a statistic really, is it? It's somebody's dad, somebody's mate, somebody's brother, somebody's community member. Now picture this, it's 4 AM, a dad stood in the kitchen. The fridge behind him, it's got some lovely colourful photographs of happy times and pictures that his kids are drawn, but he can't see them because the tears are streaming down his face, and he's thinking, I don't know how much more I can take of this. I know that feeling, and more importantly, far too many people I know also know that feeling. So this is one of the reasons that I started Dadless Soul in the first place. Over the last 7 years, we've created 450 events. We've helped 12,000 people. We've done everything from bringing dads back from the brink of despair to having a 97-year-old lady make friends with toddlers and adults with learning difficulties. We've created huge magical adventures in tech hubs, in galleries, in museums, and brought families out to have a really good time. But most importantly, what we do is get dads talking. Now strangely, that might seem like a really normal thing, but in clinical settings, men don't tend to actually open up. So what we've done is, we almost call it a Trojan horse. A dad will come along for a bushcraft workshop, a DJ workshop, a bit of stand-up comedy, but actually what he'll leave with is a community and a space where he knows he's supported. Take a look at this photograph. Spend a moment. Tell me what you see. Now, first of all, you probably say, wow, that looks like a lot of happy dads and kids. You know, if you know about our work at Dadless Soul, you go, oh, well, that's the UK's largest ever play date. And you'd be right. But let me tell you what I see when I look at that photograph. I see the dad that feels really, really guilty because he's having to work weekends and evenings just to pay the bills. I see the dad that's homeless in temporary accommodation, that if Dadless Soul doesn't exist, he's got nowhere to take his kids. I see the gay dad who's constantly batting off snide comments that his children will suffer because they don't have a mum. I'll see the stepdads, the co-parents, the guys that have struggled with IVF and miscarriage, but nobody ever asks them actually how they're doing. I also see a lot of the dads that you would think they're doing all right, but actually when you ask them, they're not. This is why Dadless Soul matters. Now let me tell you about a couple of mates of mine. First, there's Tom. He came along to one of our meetups, shaking, really, really, really socially anxious, thinking that he's going to be a bit of a Billy No Mates and nobody's going to talk to him. And we did talk. I'd found out that he'd lost his job, he'd lost his marriage, he'd lost access to his kids, and it had completely obliterated his confidence. But through Dadless Soul, we helped him sort of build that back up. Now, he's got his confidence back up, he's got access to his kids, and they really enjoy their Saturday daddy play dates. And then there's Mike, another mate of mine. Mike's been struggling for God knows how long with postnatal depression, completely undiagnosed because obviously men don't struggle like that. But there was a moment, he was sat on the floor at one of our play dates building a castle with his little daughter, and he started to smile. These are just a couple of the moments that I see and we see as Dadless Soul, week in, week out. This is why we need to be there. So let me tell you what happens if we fail. Your brother, your dad, your uncle, your mate reaches out for support. He plucks up the courage to actually come through the door and ask for help, only to find that door's closed. We know how that story ends. This is why we need your help to do something about it. So I've just told you what happens if we lose. But let me tell you what happens when we win. Thousands of dads and families get the chance to go to tech innovation hubs, art galleries, museums, have incredible adventures on a Saturday with people they wouldn't normally meet. Our events in the evening, our dads' workshops and youth clubs become a thriving hub for people from the age of 16 up to 75. And that sounds crazy, but that's exactly the types of people that we get through the door. We need your help to help all of those people. And I'm a realist, unless you've been walking around for the last couple of years, you know the world is in a dire state. Right? I know times are hard, but it's almost at these times, at these dark times, this is where we as a community need to shine brightest. And this is what I need, and we need your help. So the question, how can you actually help? And you can. £10, £50. You think, it won't make a difference, but it will. £10 goes to fund a play date for a family on low incomes that maybe couldn't afford to have these sort of adventures. £50 goes to fund a play date, a dad's only meet up where these guys can get their support, the kids can have the adventure, and maybe they can leave with a swanky sweatshirt like this, so they can leave knowing that they're part of something. £100, £250, these sort of money goes to help fund our volunteers with mental health and suicide prevention training. So the next time they ask somebody, how you doing, mate? And that person says, well, actually not too well. They've got the skills to be able to make sure the story doesn't end badly. £500, £1,000, £2,500. If you've got it, give it to us. We see a world where there should be Dadless Soul chapters in towns and cities across the UK, right? If there is a man down, he should be able to come and get the support that he needs. But I realise that's a big ask. But if you can help, please do so, because at the moment this is not just about putting Dadless Soul chapters across the UK, across the world, because there is a call for that. But at the moment we need to make sure that the projects we've got running survive. It's that critical. And in the last 7 years, I think, of running all of these events and doing all this great stuff, I've never once asked for help. And I really need to change that. So you can make a difference. You genuinely can make a difference. If you could donate, amazing. If you could share this story on social media, amazing. Just take 5 minutes, watch this film, tag 5 friends, right? Tell them that they need to see this. If you are a larger organisation or a brand that wants to get involved, give us your support. We can create magic together. But the bottom line is, we need to keep the lights on. This needs to happen. And I can't do this alone. So I'm asking you, my brothers and sisters out there, to join my revolution. You don't have to be a dad. You just need to give a shit. Thank you.